Of course, you could write a letter, but that just took too long. If I want to tell my cousin that, I see you at school tomorrow, I don't want to send that in the mail, Am I the only one in here?
No, you good.
And, so back then, I was born in '83, amen. And, we didn't have all this. Or if I wanted to talk to you, I had to go to your house and maybe knock on your door and say, Mother Jenkins, is Jerome home so we can play some football, And she would say maybe something, well, he already outside, and I had to go find him, But we're in a day and time now to where communication is easy. I don't even really have to see you to talk to you. I can send you something easy as a text message. Or I can even get to know you based off of how you act on Facebook.
All right.
Say it, bro.
Some folk I don't have to meet because I can tell how you are, based off of your stats, And you're saying, yeah, right. I can tell when you're going through because you start updating your status like this, Maybe I gotta go to jail to get some attention. Something ain't right. That's why I said that, so forgive me. But I can tell who you are and how you are based off of how you communicate, And Instagram. Anybody got an Instagram in the house? Ooh, I'm the only one. Wow. It's all right. And let me tell you about it then. Instagram it got so to the point of communicating that we don't even have to use words to communicate. Instagram is nothing but you upload photos. Y'all like one? Yeah. We upload pictures. You got Instagram? Okay. Fine. Wave is my name. Instagram, you upload photos and everybody see your picture and they can comment and they can talk about your picture. And somebody said this is better because a picture is worth 1,000 words.
All right.
But it still takes away from the communication of really getting to know the individual. It scares me when I start hearing people. I say, well, hey, how did you meet such and such? We met on Facebook. And I'm going, Now you're trying to figure, and you're looking at me going, I didn't know he acted like that because you didn't get to know him. You got to know his Facebook. I wish I had a witness here. And communication is important. It's very important because in order for you to really get to know somebody, you got to be around that individual. Just a little while. You got to be around them. You got to figure out how they might express themselves when they talk. You know how sometimes your mama know you're lying based off of how you move your neck. She's like, what you do? Did you stop? This was me. Wait a minute. Did you stop at the game store? No, man, I ain't do that. She already knew because my voice raised. She never been around me. She would not been able to understand when Wayman doing something he ain't got no business doing. All of a sudden no, I didn't do that. But because there was relationship in it, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. And God is saying to us today that it's time out for us trying to build a relationship with Him based off of the social networking site. Because when you look to Him based off the social networking site, when you find yourself in situations, you're going to find yourself looking to the social networking site rather than looking to God. And if I'm not looking at God, I'm actually vulnerable to the attack of the enemy. Why? Because I'm not focused on the one that can keep me. And if I'm looking at everything around me like Peter did when he stepped out on the boat, I might find myself sinking when I should have been doing the miraculous. I wish I had.
Come on now.
I should have been walking on water, but I was so busy focusing on everybody else and all the mess around me that I forgot to keep my focus on Jesus, and I began to sink. But when I began to build a personal relationship with the God that I serve, I don't care what's going on over here. I still got my eyes focused on Jesus. I don't care what they're saying over here because I still got my eyes focused on Jesus. And can I tell you what's good about keeping your eyes on Jesus? That if you ever get to the point to where you're saying to yourself, God, how did I get here? If you ever get to the point of saying to yourself, of God, I done messed up and done start looking left. All you got to do is get your life in order and say, God, I'm sorry, and turn in the right direction. I don't know who needs to hear that tonight, but you don't have to stay in the situation that you're in. You got to declare and you got to decree that I'm coming out of this. Why? Because I'm going to where Jesus is.
Come on now.
Continue to build this relationship based off of a social networking relationship with Christ. We will never get to know who He is.
All right, say that.
We'll only get to know that He updates His status.
All right.
We only get to know that He makes good quotes, like, for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. We know He says that, but we'll never understand why He would utter them words unless we get to know Him for who He is. And you know, we got to move from talking little stuff on Facebook and say, you know what, Jesus, I'm tired of being in a relationship where I can't be around you. But now, you know what, I'm giving it up. I'm ready to date because I need to know who you are for who you are. Because I'm tired of being involved with mess over here and mess over here. And I'm ready to be involved with you, God. Y'all pray for me.
Come on down, boy.
Y'all pray for me. And you know, how did I get here? My God. So it goes once you realize that it takes more than just saying a few scriptures to really say that I am a child of God. It takes a little more than that. It takes a little more than you saying, oh, I was in Bible study every week. You know, it takes a little more. Now, don't get me wrong, that's good. But if there's no relationship, what do you have when everybody indulges your name? What do you have? That's all you have is what? But when you begin to build your relationship and move from a little talk here and a little talk there, you begin to realize that everything that I used to do, I just can't do it anymore.
My Lord. Come on now. Come on. Come on now. Come on.
I know that's tight. But you begin. Why? Because as you begin to date and as you begin to build your relationship with God, you will begin to understand that He wants you exclusively for Him.
Yes, He does.
My God. My God. But if we never get past it, and you say, well, what does it mean to have a social networking relationship with Christ? That the only time you see Him is when you come in the house.
All right.
The only time you want to lift your hands is when you come into the house. That's a social networking relationship with Jesus. But it's going to take you to go home and say, God, I love you. It's going to take for you to walk around your house and say, God, you're worthy. It's going to take for you to be in your car. There's nobody like God. While you driving down the street saying, God, I need you. I don't know how to get through this, but I need you. It's going to take a personal relationship. You want to slap your neighbor a high five and tell your neighbor, it's going to take a little more than that. It's going to take a little more than that. It's going to take a little more. So we're here in the text today and we're dealing with a man who had a lot of issues. And I say a lot of issues because he was full of demons. Yes, he was. Anybody ever just felt like nothing was going right in your life?
Woo!
Am I the only one ever been there? Anybody ever felt like nothing was going right? And this man was just fully vexed with demons. But I find it to be amazing. My God from Zion. I think it's amazing that even though he was vexed with demons, even though he had a major situation in his life, when Jesus came on the scene, his situation took him to Jesus. Oh my God.
Take your time. Take your time.
Oh my God. It took him to Jesus. And the Bible says that when he got to him, that the thing on the inside of him that was not right recognized who he was and said for Jesus to have mercy. So can I encourage you tonight? Don't get mad when you're in a situation. Get glad because you know one day God is going to meet you where you are. If God Bartimaeus had not been like a highway side begging, he would have I heard that Jesus was coming back. I wish I had a witness in the house that can declare to the devil tonight, I know I'm in a situation, but watch me give God some praise. I know I'm in the midst of something, but watch me lift up my hands despite my situation. Why? Because I know a God that can bring me out. Why? Because I know a God that can deliver me. Why? Because I know a God that's got my best interest in mind. Oh God, I feel like, man, I wish you could pray with me. I feel like preaching in here.
Free it, boy.
The Bible says that Jesus deals with him, and Jesus says to them, he says, now look, these demons, and you cannot paraphrase this. This is a youth revival, amen?
Yes.
And he says, now look, these demons got to go. So it is crazy that the demons had the nerve to say, we will release him, but Jesus send us somewhere else. It's like, that's why you got to stay covered, because if you get around somebody else that's trying to get delivered and you ain't covered, you be trying to figure out why I'm in the mess that I'm in.
Come on now, boy.
And you didn't even have your covering. You wasn't even connected to Jesus. And you said, why am I in the situation that I'm in?
Preach it.
Wow. Somebody say you got to stay covered.
Got to stay covered.
This is why we got to stay connected in building that relationship.
Yes.
And he says, go to the swine. They said, can we go? And they go. And they jump off the cliff. Somebody say, get out.
Get out.
Tell the kid, say, get out.
Get out.
The first thing you got to do when building your relationship with him, you got to get some stuff out of your life. That's heavy right there. Because we so connected to stuff. I'm almost done. I just had to calm down and say that. I got excited earlier. That's all right. But you got to do that. We got to kick some stuff out. And then everybody realized what had happened. And they wanted Jesus to leave. Isn't that crazy? This man done got delivered. Y'all got an attitude. Because some swine done jumped off the bridge. Now I understand that probably was a little money. But somebody got delivered.
Come on. No matter how much it costs.
Sit in church an extra 5 minutes, but somebody